What is important to note is that the Zoom recorder had the compressor limiter on. It had the limiter feature on. You can have compression if you like, but the limiter actually prevented the audio from clipping going beyond 0 dB. So as in class, I had you clap your hands really loud to adjust the gain on the Zoom recorder, but it's unpredictable how loud the balloon burst will actually be. But we clapped our hands quite loud to adjust the gain level on the recorder so that we would have some starting point, if you like. And the limiter being on helped protect the level from overloading. Now, what to do with this recording is to cut it up into 3 parts. Cut it up into 3 parts because they were balloon bursts at 3 distances. And our normal practice of zooming in, and we'll turn the snap off. And the idea is to get as close as you can to the initial trigger of that bang, that balloon. Like in the past, I had mentioned to you to make a slight fade in or fade out in terms of dialogue editing. In this case, we would be more concerned with selecting a 0 crossing point where there is no sound in theory. Bang, the balloon burst starts. And do the same for the fade out. Have a listen to that. So I'm losing too much of the room sound. Actually, might be better to do that. Holding the command key and adjusting the fade point. Can change the shape of the fade by holding the command key down. Okay, so if you were happy with that, then the idea now is to bounce and join, bounce and join, bounce in place. So we're going to render this area here. Again, bounce, join in place. Give this a name, impulse 1. Well, impulse, maybe staircase, position 1. Maybe that's better. What? So at least you have some description of the file in case you lose your notes. Normalize, no need to normalize because you can see the level here. Peaked, but we had the limiter on in the Zoom recorder, so the recording was protected from overloading. So we do not need to normalize, which would maximize the level of that part, that segment, according to the loudest point. Create a new track, mute the source, which means this particular segment that I'm working on would become muted. That's okay. Include audio tail in file, yes. If we use automation pan zoom, okay. So this is the rendered segment. That's the original muted. This is the rendered one. And if I go into my computer and look for the audio folder for this Pro Tools, for this Logic project, it should be in here. Yes. So that was just created it's the same name. So this area here bounced down was then it then created this file, which is in my audio folder. So later we will use this impulse to bring it into our utility software. So that will be the next step. So your task for this week is to do the same for at least 3 impulse bursts that you made.